Disney's Frozen tribute in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 to Geralt's horse from The Witcher 3, ending up in LEGO Star Wars. These are some LEGO Easter eggs you probably missed. LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2013. Starting off with the first mission of LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Players are treated to a humorous Easter egg during the showdown with Sandman. His exclamation of, "Oh no, I'm melting!" Melting is a delightful nod to the iconic scene from The Wizard of Oz, featuring the Wicked Witch.
I'm melting!
To another clever reference, the game features an achievement titled Don't I Know You? It's pretty funny because when you set both characters as Captain America and the Human Torch, you unlock it. This is because Chris Evans played both Captain America and the Human Torch in their movies. So they're kinda like, wait a minute, aren't you the same guy? Continuing the streak of clever nods to popular culture, players encounter a memorable moment with Mr. Fantastic during a rescue mission. He stretches himself out like a parachute to catch them, and then he's all like, I saw that in a movie once. It's referencing this scene in The Incredibles, when Mrs. Incredible turns into a parachute to save her kids. As the adventure unfolds in the hero's journey to Asgard, Human Torch sees those cool rainbow pathways and is like, I want to race down that. And then, when you're just roaming around in the regular world, you can find Maria Hill on the helicarrier. She challenges you to a race on this holographic track with go-karts. Doesn't that seem a bit familiar? Did you notice in LEGO Marvel Superheroes that if any symbiote character gets too close to Johnny Storm when he's in Flame On mode, they back off? It's like they're saying, whoa, fire, I'm out of here. This is because fire is one of the weaknesses of symbiotes, like Venom and Carnage. In the heat of battle against the villain known as the Leader, players controlling either Bruce Banner or the Hulk are treated to special lines tailored specifically for them. He knows he's facing off against one of Hulk's biggest enemies, so he's got these exclusive lines to taunt them. To a lighter moment aboard the helicarrier, this SHIELD agent comes up to you all serious-like and says, Director Nick Fury wants these snakes off this helicarrier.
And I'm like, snakes on a plane, anyone?
It's totally a tribute to that movie. And get this, Samuel L. Jackson, who plays Nick Fury in the MCU, also starred in Snakes on a Plane. Now, there's something pretty special waiting for you if you're into trophy hunting and 100% completion. You can achieve this super cool platinum trophy. This is also a nod to the 2012 Avengers movie. Remember that scene after the big fight with Loki and the Centurions? When Iron Man suggests trying shawarma. LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. In LEGO Marvel Superheroes' second game, you can save Stan Lee in different parts of the city. But there's this one area where he's frozen and stuck. When you find him, there's a cleaner who helps you out. And Stan Lee says, the cold never bothered me anyway. Get the reference? Somebody call Elsa, because someone else is rocking her lines. There's a scene where all the heroes are having a feast together. So LEGO Captain Marvel, the one that would be based on Brie Larson from the live-action movie, says, the Brie is fantastic. It's a nice shout-out to the future actress who would play the role. The big bad Kang the Conqueror makes this announcement over the PA system. He mentions that he's holding this contest with golden tickets, and I'm like, isn't that something from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Golden tickets are totally that movie's trademark. Next up is LEGO The Lord of the Rings, and they've got this super cool level called Cirith Ungol. If you head into that level, you'll stumble upon a locked door that you can blow up. Once you're in, you'll sneak into this area with towers and searchlights guarding a chest. You can avoid getting spotted by those searchlights by hiding under a box, just like in Metal Gear Solid, when Snake would sneak around in a box for stealth. And if you do get spotted, you'll hear this familiar alert sound. There's this spot on the map called Weathertop. If you head over there, you'll find these ruins with a wooden plank on top of them. You can use some rope to climb up and reach that plank. When you walk or jump off the plank and head towards this water puddle, you'll hear this eagle cry. This is similar to the iconic leap of faith from the Assassin's Creed franchise. There is a sneaky Easter egg during a cutscene after the second mission, and you have to make sure you keep your eyes peeled for it. Ever heard of the movie The Matrix? Well, in the background of the scene, you'll spot this character who looks just like Agent Smith from The Matrix. It's a total nod to the movie, and the actor who plays Agent Smith, Hugo Weaving, also plays Lord Elrond in The Lord of the Rings. You may or may not be familiar with Capcom's iconic franchise, Resident Evil. In Resident Evil, you can find green and red herbs that you can combine to amplify your healing. Well, in this part of the game called the Battle of Pelennor Fields, while you're roaming around, you can actually find both a red and a green herb. You can combine them together just like in Resident Evil to make a medikit. It makes a great hidden surprise for players who are fans of both games. LEGO DC Supervillains 2018. LEGO DC Supervillains has one Easter egg for us, and it's about this dude named Ares who drops this one. War always changes. Now, if that sounds kind of familiar, it's because it's a twist on the famous line from the Fallout games, war never changes. LEGO Batman the Video Game, 2008. Continuing the journey into LEGO Batman, the video game, there's a mission called An Icy Reception, and you kick things off by heading into Mr. Freeze's hideout. Now, if you've seen the 1997 Batman and Robin movie, you might notice something familiar about the layout of his lair in the game. Just take a look at these two side by side, and you'll see some similarities. In one of the maps, you'll come across the Monarch Theater. Now, this place might ring a bell if you're a Batman fan, because it's the same theater where Bruce Wayne's parents were watching a movie before they tragically met their fate in the alleyway behind it. In a thrilling showdown, the big bad guy, Bane, gets the upper hand on Batman and actually breaks his back. This famous comic called Batman Nightfall. In that story, Bane does the same thing, leaving Batman seriously injured. It's a super memorable moment for comic book fans, and they cleverly worked it into the game. When you finish the mission called A Surprise for the Commissioner and get the Joker, there's a special treat waiting for you. You can unlock the tropical version of Joker. It's the same Joker we know, but with a beachy twist. Ready for some fun in the sun? This pays tribute to a famous comic called The Killing Joke. In that comic, the Joker did some pretty crazy stuff, like shooting Barbara Gordon and leaving her paralyzed. Venturing into the villain mission, a daring rescue for a power-crazed Penguin, there's a part where Penguin and Killer Croc use these colorful pipes. It's like the warp pipes you find in Mario games, where you jump in one and pop out somewhere else. Lego Batman 2, DC Superheroes, where Vicky Vale mentions that the Gotham mayor has decided to delay his plans to block up a part of Gotham City. This is a nod to the game Batman Arkham City, where a similar plan was proposed to create a prison city for criminals. It's a nice shout out to another pretty cool Batman game. Among the heaps of challenges and collectibles in the game, players can discover this intriguing trophy known as Gorilla Thriller. All you gotta do is ride a gorilla all the way up to the top of Wayne Tower. But you can't just do it casually. You have to do it while playing as a female character, because this is a reference to King Kong. In one of the cutscenes for a level called Harboring a Criminal, they throw in a reference to the classic moment from Adam West's Batman. You know, the one where he whips out the shark-repellent bat spray. Let's check out Lego City Undercover, where the main character, Chase McCain, can whip up a warp pipe out of Lego blocks and hop right into it, just like Mario does in his games. And when he does this, you hear that classic Super Mario Bros. Sound effect. It's like taking a trip to the Mushroom Kingdom in the middle of Lego City. Although, in the remastered version of the game, they swapped out the warp pipe for a teleport pad. Still cool, but no longer a Mario reference. In the game, you'll come across these 5 question mark blocks hanging around. Jump up and smack them, and you'll hear that satisfying sound, just like when Mario collects a coin. But instead of coins, Lego studs appear after whacking them 3 times. There's a cool tunnel with an aquarium hidden underneath, where you'll spot a Cheep Cheep swimming around. But watch out, a shark shows up, ready to chomp on the little guy. But then, a bigger Cheep Cheep comes to the rescue and eats the shark instead. In the minor altercation level, there's a part where you'll see lots of ladders and boulders rolling down ramps. This feels like the classic Donkey Kong game, especially the level 25M. As you go through this area, Chase, the main character, even jokes about it, saying something like, "I hope there's no giant ape waiting for us at the top," giving us a fun reference to Donkey Kong. Now, it all goes down to beating the final boss, Rex Fury. In the first phase of the battle, Chase has to grab onto Rex's T-Rex bot and spin it around by the body and tail. Then you gotta throw it into one of the energy containers. It's kinda like how Mario takes down Bowser in Super Mario 64. A total throwback. In both LEGO Indiana Jones The Original Adventures from 2008 and its sequel, LEGO Indiana Jones 2 The Adventure Continues from 2009, there's this cool crossover action between the Indiana Jones and Star Wars universes. Since both games are cooked up by Lucasfilm, you'd expect some fun references, right? Well, you won't be disappointed. In the cave scene with the Holy Grail, the knight pulls a prank pretending to be Darth Vader when Indy sees his shadow on the wall. Up next is LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, where the actor named Dominic Monaghan has been in both the Lord of the Rings and Star Wars movies. In Lord of the Rings, he plays Merry Brandybuck, one of the hobbits who loves his pipeweed and second breakfast. And in Star Wars, he's Beaumont Kin, a resistance trooper fighting against the bad guys. Now, in the LEGO Star Wars game, they slipped in a funny little moment where Beaumont Kin complains about not getting a second breakfast, which is a hilarious reference to Merry Brandybuck. One funny moment in Episode 1 stands out, where they poke fun at Queen Amidala's need for secrecy. Picture this: all her clones start popping up one by one, shouting, "I am Queen Amidala." It's a total laugh riot, and a nod to that classic scene in Spartacus, where everyone claims to be the main man. Let's not forget that episode titles in this game are packed with funny references. There's one called Better Call Maul, which is a nod to the TV show Better Call Saul, you know, the one that came after Breaking Bad. And then there's this puzzle called One-Eyed Wookiee Treasure, which totally reminds me of that treasure hunt in The Goonies. Remember what I said earlier about how Indiana Jones and Star Wars are both made by Lucasfilm? Well, in one part of the game, when you open an airlock in A New Hope, you can see a bunch of stormtroopers getting sucked out into space. But if you pause at just the right moment, you'll catch a glimpse of Indiana Jones' famous hat flying out too. And get this, there's another Easter egg where they show the Ark of the Covenant from Raiders of the Lost Ark in a level called Reap What You Solo. Plus, there's a side mission called Raiders of the Great Temple, where Han Solo, just like Indy, brings a gun to a sword fight. Honestly, Indiana Jones and Star Wars are just such different genres that it's super fun to see Easter eggs coming from both games. When you play as Qui-Gon Jinn, Sometimes he says this line like, "I have a particular set of skills that will come in handy here." Does that sound familiar to you? Well, it's actually a nod to Liam Neeson's character in the Taken movies, where he says something similar. And get this, Liam Neeson plays both Qui-Gon Jinn in Star Wars and Brian Mills in Taken. It's nice that they gave a little shout out to his other famous role in the game. As we venture off to the northwest clearing of Dragon Snake Bog on Dagobah, you'll come across this funky three-legged structure. Turns out it's an E3 standard starship lifeboat, the very craft Yoda used to hightail it to Dagobah during the Jedi Purge. In the game, they've got this cool thing going on with the Aurebesh, which is basically the Star Wars version of our alphabet. You'll spot it all over the place, especially in the Uskru district on Coruscant. If you take a stroll down the street there, you can translate the storefront names from Aurebesh into English. And let me tell you, you'll find some real gems. Stuff like Arm and a Leg, Hutt's Headgear, Corellian Cantina, Crispy Fried Dewback, and A New Home. While Luke's chilling on Dagobah during The Empire Strikes Back, he's got this photo with him. And guess who's on it? Him, Han, and Leia, back from their A New Hope days. And the caption on the photo? Just one word. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, in a quieter scene in The Last Jedi, there's this scene where Chewbacca's chilling by Rose Tico's bedside while she's recovering. He's flipping through this book, but then he tosses it aside and grabs another one called Among Clouds. The cover's got young Lando Calrissian giving flowers to the droid L337, which totally nods to their romance story from Solo, A Star Wars Story. Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation. As you boot up Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation, don't hit that skip intro button just yet, because you won't want to miss Finn making his appearance in Lego Star Wars style. It's a clever twist on the usual intro you see before all Star Wars content on Disney+. So sit tight and enjoy the playful nod to our favorite galaxy far, far away. In the galaxy of Lego Star Wars, even the most unexpected characters can become sources of amusement. Take, for example, the Gonk droids, seen carrying snacks and drinks. It's funny because Gonk droids don't have arms, so they're basically doing a balancing act with trays on their heads. And get this, it turns out Gonks are a top pick for director Ken Cunningham, so maybe that's why he stuck this Easter egg in there. Fans of Lego Star Wars The Freemaker Adventures are in for a treat with a hidden gem involving Lieutenant Valeria. Well, here's a cool tidbit. Her first name is Colvette, and it's actually a mashup of the voice actor Yvette Nicole Brown's first and middle names. Pretty creative, right? It's like a nice Easter egg just waiting to be discovered. And Obi-Wan's tale from his time on Tatooine. As the adventures unfold, characters like Finn showcase their creativity on the sandy shores. Finn builds Darth Vader's Mustafar castle out of sand. That's some serious skill, especially considering he didn't even have a shovel. Continuing the fun, Anakin makes a memorable entrance at the beach, and he's rocking scuba gear. It's a nod to the regulator that created Darth Vader's iconic breathing sound in Star Wars A New Hope. Now, why a Force Ghost needs scuba gear is anyone's guess, but hey, LEGO Dimensions 2015. Now, of course, we can't skip LEGO Dimensions and their large share of Easter eggs. You've got Atlas, a non-playable character from Portal, making an appearance. Catch Atlas and Peabody chilling on a tractor beam in the background of the Aperture Science level. And when you head into the Portal 2 world, there's a quest waiting for you on the surface, where you gotta smash up 5 scarecrows of Atlas and Peabody. Players encounter a heartfelt tribute to the iconic Batman from the 1960s TV series, portrayed by the legendary Adam West. In the game, he does not say a word, considering Adam West passed away in 2017. But you can spot him and his trusty sidekick, 1960s Robin, in the LEGO Batman movie level, Attack of the Uber Villains, honoring the classic Caped Crusader. Venturing into the whimsical world of Adventure Time, you may have spotted a cameo appearance of Bikini Assassin, who is not playable. You can spot a poster of her hanging in Ice King's castle. Another character from Adventure Time makes their cameo in LEGO Dimensions. You can spot Fiona, chilling on a book in Marceline's room. Just head to the usual spot where you'd find the crystal sword, and you'll see several copies scattered around. The book features the first Fiona and Cake story that Ice King wrote in the episode Fiona and Cake. Mercy Hardigan, also known as the Cyber King from Doctor Who, makes an appearance in the game as a non-playable character. You'll find her hanging out in the spot that will eventually become I Am Foreman's scrapyard. When reassembled, the Cyber King drops a mini kit, climbs over a wall, and stomps away. Those lovable service droids, also known as Scudders from the Red Dwarf series, make a sneaky appearance in the game. If you hop into the TARDIS and head to the secret area of Red Dwarf, you might spot them cruising through the corridors. And get this, you might catch them playing a game of Cowboys and Indians, paying homage to their love of John Wayne from the TV show. Snap Snacky, the automated snack dispenser from Red Dwarf, makes an appearance in the game as a non-playable character as well. If you use the TARDIS to reach Red Dwarf in the level, you'll stumble upon Snack. Make sure to fix him up to unlock new areas. And as a bonus, he'll hook you up with a mini-kit. The Sonic the Hedgehog Adventure Pack was hands down one of the coolest expansions for LEGO Dimensions. Why? Well, not only was it a sweet tribute to all things Sonic, but it also gave a nod to Sega fans in general throughout the game. In different cutscenes, levels, and areas, you might stumble upon a LEGO version of the Sega Genesis console. You know, the same console where the Blue Blur himself made his big debut back in 1991. It's a wonder why they haven't made a real set of this yet, right? There's this super cool detail in the Ghostbusters world that's worth mentioning. So, if you swing by the sunken ship just outside the city, you'll spot a skeleton holding another skeleton with red hair and arms spread out. I'm pretty sure you've guessed it by now. It is a clear nod to the iconic scene from the 1997 film Titanic. You can even catch a glimpse of the same couple when you bring the ship to the surface during the Ghostbusters story level. LEGO Jurassic World 2015. LEGO Jurassic World did not hold back on the movie references, especially those tied to Steven Spielberg's work. In the Lost World part of LEGO Jurassic World, there's this quick cutscene where a bunch of hunters nab a dinosaur. But right after that, keep your eyes peeled because you'll catch a nod to another Steven Spielberg movie, E.T. Extraterrestrial in 1982. Here's a sneaky detail you might miss in the game. While digging at the Raptor site, a guy digs up a number plate and tosses it aside, thinking it's junk. But that number plate? It's actually from the DeLorean, featured in the Back to the Future movies. Now, at the end of the Lost World chapter, once the T-Rex is on the loose, someone's gonna drop the line, "We're gonna need a bigger boat." Yep, you guessed it. It is a reference to the classic movie Jaws. Alright, so some people might overlook this, but I totally count it as an Easter egg. It's none other than Steven Spielberg himself, in LEGO form, working the camera. And let me tell you, they nailed it. He is the perfect size and everything. You can spot him rocking his classic Jurassic Park hat, beard, and glasses. He's even a playable character in the game. All it takes is 250,000 studs to unlock it. Now, it seems like a trend with LEGO games to include a little scene after the credits roll. At first glance, this one had me thinking it was something Avengers related, maybe tied to an Infinity Stone, especially with the LEGO Avengers game on the horizon at the time. But surprise, surprise, it's actually a nod to LEGO Dimensions. Check out that portal that they're digging up. It totally looks a lot like the one from Skylanders, right? I'm pretty sure we have all heard of Fortnite's new collaboration, LEGO Fortnite. If you haven't, just think Minecraft plus Legos. If you track down the end of a rainbow in the game, you'll stumble upon the LEGO set called Everyone is Awesome, which was actually released in real life during Pride Month in 2021. Guess who you can play as in the game? None other than the famous YouTuber, Mr. Beast. Known for his generosity and entertaining content, he brings his unique flair to the Fortnite universe. As you explore, you'll come across medieval-style pre-built structures inspired by real-life LEGO sets, like the Lion Knight's Castle from 2022. They add a cool touch of authenticity to the game, making this virtual world feel even more immersive. The last Easter egg that's gonna wrap up this video are these Japanese and ninja-themed structures, such as the Shogun Palace, which takes cues from the iconic settings of the Ninjago LEGO show. With all that said, folks, which Easter egg did you love the most? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.